Hello, everybody. I'm Jamin Warren. I'm the founder of Killscreen. Killscreen is an arts and culture organization committed to advancing the practice of interdisciplinary play. We were founded back in 2010, and we're seeking to drive the intersection of design, culture, and impact through cross-disciplinary collaboration to show the world why play matters. And that's why we're doing events like this. We're trying to break games and play out from some of the traditional barriers that have kept them from dialogue with other creative disciplines and foster a diverse community of creators with the with ambassadorial relationships to the world around us. So this is part of a longer series that we've been doing, interviewing creators like Mario, who I'll get to in a second. But before we begin, a couple housekeeping notes for everybody. For Zoom, click on hide non-video participants. So if you see Emma, you can just hide Emma. That's totally fine. They won't be offended. We'll go about 45 minutes of just back and forth with Mario and I, and then open it up for questions. We'll be recording this, so it will be posted for later. And then there is a Q&A. So you feel free to ask questions throughout. So if there's something that Mario says or something from Mario's work that intrigues you, feel free to drop a question in the chat. I'll try to integrate it into our conversation. I'll do my best to field everybody's questions. Please, if you leave a question and you want to use your name, if you just give a phonetic pronunciation, that's helpful for me, and I will certainly do my best. And if you have any technical issues, you can also let us know over the Q&A. Nobody will see that until we actually, unless we choose to make the answers visible. So you can follow us on Twitter at Killscreen or on Instagram at killscreen.com. All right, well, let's get started. So this is Mario. Mario was born in 1987 in Reykjavik, Croatia, and lives in Berlin, Germany. Mario works on various research projects, which are often constructed as extended gaming platforms. Apart from frequently incorporating sound and drawing, his practice mainly shifts between game design, 3D animation, and performance. Mario has received a BFA in Berlin from the University of the Arts, a BFA in Zagreb from the Academy of Fine Arts Painting Department in 2015, and an MA from the Faculty of Graphic Arts in 2012. During the 2016 and 2017, he was an active member of the Research Center for the Proxy Politics in Berlin, and since 2017 has been working on a series of LARP events as an author, collaborator, or performer in Playco London and cities across Europe. So Mario, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us today. All right.
Thank you all for having me.
Mario, tell us a little bit about some of your influences. I believe you're speaking from your hometown in Croatia. Tell us a little bit about some of your childhood influences and how you made your way to becoming a practicing artist.
I was thinking about, should I actually tell you where I am? But now I decided I will, just for the sake of breaking the ice. So I'm in my mom's office.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in a small town on the border between Croatia and Bosnia. And in the 90s, this was not really a place. This was more like a corridor, a buffer zone, a space that was pretty undefined politically, I would say. And often when I speak with my friends, I have to talk so much trying to explain something that would make sense about this place. But now that I think about it, the only good example is Mos Eisley from the Star Wars. You know, like it's like a just place where you do some crimes on the other parts of the Balkan, and then you just come here and you are safe. But as long as you are here, so that was it in the 90s. I was drawing a lot back in the 90s, and then at one moment after the war, both of my parents got employed again, which was a great thing. And with employment came the computers, like that was like 94 or something. And then very often I would go to my parents' workplace to sit on the computer. I would install some games that I would find and just spend a lot of time playing games. I think these are the influences that are very straightforward, are very important for me.
Yeah.
I was really into Japanese anime, of course. but games were something that you would crave for playing games and stuff. And then you had these magazines that would have a CDs with like demos of the games that are about to come out. So you would install those, play them, and then you have your father is working in unemployment agency, for example, and then on the weekend you smuggle in with the keys, and then you install Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, for example, and sometimes maybe do a lot of damage to the data, but that was the context. And I haven't been here in such a long time. I've been living in Zagreb in Croatia. I was studying there. I was living a lot in Berlin. And then now during the pandemic, I don't know, just something started crawling up my back. And I was like, I need to do something. I need to close the circle and go back to where everything started. So here I am.
Yeah, no, of course. The Turok experience, that certainly resonates.
Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. Not any Turok.
Yeah,
Seeds
exactly.
of Evil.
Part of a generation.
So my general influence is just like influenced by Seeds of Evil, I would say.
Tell me a little bit about your move to like Berlin, because we'll talk a little bit about your relationship to design and architecture, but what inspired you to move there as a city and help you find a creative community that that you could connect to and really explore the creative practice of games.
That's true. I was studying painting in Croatia, but I already started working. I was working in the games industry as an illustrator, and I was really interested in this performative play. Somehow I managed to come to Berlin, and I started studying painting there, but it was still pretty conventional program. And then I switched to experimental film class, which is still led by Professor Hito Steyer, where I met this really interesting and amazing bunch of people who were bringing all sorts of experiences to the new media genre, to the experimental film and documentary genre. And there I got to do some LARPs, always on a collaborative basis with people from the class. And I think this network started to grow 2016, 17. There were more people working, especially in Berlin. I met people like Omsk Social Club, Ed Fornelis, Mo Holkar. This was happening in London, for example. And through this community, I got to learn a lot. And I had an opportunity to try out different things about what fits well to my practice, or what is the most, what is the closest to what I want to do. And this was I wouldn't say lasted, but until 2019, this first phase, I would say, the first wave. 2015, 2019 was the first wave, definitely, of LARP coming into the territory of contemporary arts. Contemporary art, which is always, okay, what is new, what is interesting, what can we appropriate, put in a gallery quickly, abuse, exploit, and leave. So there were different attempts, and I didn't feel that fits completely into a gallery context. And that's, in 2019, for me, was a point of departure when I figured out, okay, LARP is a gallery context. The traditional contemporary art gallery context is just not a proper framework for LARP.
Well, before we jump into your first work, games with architecture in the title, I just wanted to ask a little bit about your relationship to tools. What spurred your interest in like making films, like using machinima techniques, aside from being someone who grew up on games and and then working in like Blender, and then you could work with Unity. Tell us a little bit about that process, the entry into like using game engines as a vehicle of creative expression.
I was working, I did a lot of animation in high school as well. And then it stopped as I was studying painting and I was working a lot in illustration. And then when I went to do my MA in experimental film, I wanted to do, again, more of animation. And I thought this is a place where I can experiment more with the ways we construct image, with the ways we deal with image space, with the ways we work with pictorial space. And most important for me, I guess, ways where I can make my research on the game space. This is something that is very important for me. And Blender was the first one, was a really good fit for the 3D animation. It's open source software. And that worked well until the point where I wanted to just explore something which is not controlled so much. Animation is something that you control a lot, every single frame. And in Unity game engine, you basically can put up some kind of a world environment, and this environment just has the life of their own. And I wanted to have this. I wanted to have an ecosystem that I don't a space that I don't control absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I become a part of that environment. That environment, of course, is growing, but I'm bringing the influences, and that environment brings something back. So we grow together, and that with Unity. With Unity, I really have found, I would say, a fertile ground for as much as exploration as I want, finding a good direction where I want to go.